creation comes from a place, for me personally, where I'm going through like a really, really heavy transition. I'm looking for something, some direction, and these past 2 years, that's where Phantom Heart came out. 2 years ago, I separated from my wife and my son. I moved into a 2-room apartment, one town away. I didn't know anybody. I was alone. I was used to coming home every night to a family. I literally felt homeless for 6 months, and I was so depressed. And the most painful thing during that period was to see my son go through this when he had no choice. There was a decision that was made, obviously without him. Seeing him go through that period and basically lose his innocence, and me making sense of what's my role as a father. I'm a failure as a father. What does this mean for me? How do I become a great father with him now? And but just seeing his purity contrasted with what was happening. The only way to put those two things together was to write the song, "Your Blue Eyes Don't Reflect That Kind of Light."
Why'd you have to go and change?
And living alone in this 2-room house, this 2-room apartment, every day I had to wake up alone, and I had to get myself together. I'm getting separated. I don't have a family anymore. But I have to move on. I had only myself to deal with at that point. I was literally sitting in a chair, staring at a wall half the time, wondering, just trying to get myself together. I was listening to an artist, Daniel Johnston, and there was this one song, "Good Morning You," and he talks about looking at yourself in the mirror and making the decision, are you going to win or are you going to lose? And that's the decision that I had to make every single morning. For at least 8 or 9 months, I had a tough time every morning making that decision.
Good morning, you, though you can hardly move. You sat in the chair and you were scared. So much.
I know I'm what I would call an unconscious songwriter. Songs basically come out of me. They come out of periods, again, when I'm going through something very intense, and it's a way for me to keep on my feet. For roughly 9-10 months, I dated a bunch of women and really wasn't sure what I was looking for. So I took a break, and I met Margaret online. We emailed each other a couple of times, and I originally saw her and knew that she played music, so I had the idea, let's put a band together. We both had this idea of doing Everly Brothers songs, and so I would we'd play these Everly Brothers tunes together, and but interestingly enough, the first time we actually met, I kind of had this feeling about her. I knew that there was a really deep connection. I thought, at least this is going to be a great friendship. We're going to be great friends for life. It felt like we were comrades, that we were in the same ship together, going through the same ocean, these waves pounding and pounding and pounding. After a while, I started bringing songs into rehearsal, original songs. I started writing a lot more, and the songs were, she called them love songs, and I just called them songs. We did a couple shows together, and one night we went back to her place, and we're just catching up after shows. And she sat me down on her couch and said, I got to talk to you about something. And right away I felt like I was in trouble. And my first feeling was she's going to let me down. But she said the opposite. She said, I like you. And I was really happy at that moment.
Last night what you told me, you showed me trust. Last night what you told me,
I just found myself writing 2-3 songs a week. The bulk of the songs on this whole album are really come out of that period of just getting close to her. And so I just was naturally writing a lot of songs in that period. And then the horrible happened. We knew that there was a commitment here, and we were scared, and we just started putting the walls up. Old feelings that came up many times before for me, many times for her. So we ended up taking a break. It was real torture because I felt like I found true love, and I was just struck by this tragedy that it just was not going to happen. It was done. How close we got, how right it felt, and now it wasn't going to happen. It just was gone, totally gone, and I was left confused. I was totally confused. And so I wrote Blue Van. It felt like she doesn't want me, but I want her so badly. And how do you put those two things together?
when you're gone, I open
Just Have to Know was the same idea. Do you want me? Do you not want me? What's going on? I just have to know.
only we know. Wash away my heartache with your will. Can you wash away my heartache with your will?
We talked, we realized that we had a lot more at stake than we wanted to admit, and we faced down fear. With You is a promise to her that I believe in us every day, and I do.